Good day, brothers and sisters. Preparation day is coming along, so for those of you that are already in the evening, I'd say happy preparation day. And I wanted to just answer some questions real quick, and some people that have come along and questions that they had. The people that are willing to do this juice fast with me, I wanted to just reach out and just make a general video instead of specifically answering questions. So the enemy has been really fighting me on this, and is going to try to fight you too on it. But the thing is, today, in the days of the children of Israel, today, the 11th of October, was supposed to be Yom Kippur, which is a day of atonement. And so on the Day of Atonement, what are we supposed to do on the Day of Atonement? Actually, it's supposed to be a whole day of fasting and prayer and heart searching and soul searching. The whole nation gathered together on a Yom Kippur, on a day of Yom Kippur, and basically atoned for their sins. And so I wanted to come again and answer questions as I was saying, but before we do all that, let's pray real quick. Okay, Daniel. Thank you, Father, so much this morning for allowing us the privilege and the opportunity to come together to read your word. Please be with us as we read your word. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Amen. So prayer obviously is very important. And today by God's grace, it's been as I was saying earlier, the enemy has really been fighting me on this, and I was actually supposed to start on Wednesday, but I gave myself the excuse that I was gonna wait to see how many more people were gonna join me. I started was it Monday? I started on Monday, and because I didn't plan it well and I didn't prepare it well. I ate some fruit and some stuff, and which I shouldn't have because I didn't plan it well. But by God's grace, I have all the ingredients here, and I think somebody mentioned that they didn't quite get the ingredient list. So I'm going to take my time and enunciate so you can hear it loud and clear. But before I do that, I wanted to show you, today, before I started my devotion as far as reading the Bible, I told God, please speak to me specifically, speak to me personally today, and help me to hear your voice, or help me to give me something today by your grace. And he did. And actually, I wasn't supposed to go to Kings, but somehow I started in Exodus, and then I wound up in Kings. But before that, I was reading the book of Revelations. So how I ended up in Kings, the first Kings, only God knows. And when I turn that down, please. Turn that down, way down. And when I got that, I knew specifically that my prayer had been answered. That God had literally spoken, given me the words that I need, completely and utterly need, to start this treacherous heroes, or this arduous it's like trying to go upstream while everybody else is going downstream. You're trying to go upstream of a river or waterfall or whatever, right? It's not easy. It takes grit, it takes heart, it takes devotion, it takes dedication, it takes wanting something more than what you have now. Whether it is a better relationship with God, a better relationship with the things of God, whether it's losing weight, whether it's being healthy, whether it's living for your children, your grandchildren, your family, whether it's living and having a clear mind and a clear body, we all have our reasons. But the enemy, I'm telling you, and so God gave me this and I wanted to share. And I wanted to show you, this is in 1 Kings chapter 2. And it's very simple. But the thing is, there was a ministry, I have an Ellen G. White study Bible. It's a King James Version Bible, but it has the Ellen G. White quotations in there as well, some of it, and it's so helpful. But this came at the right. I was just so surprised that this was there at the right place and at the right time for me, and so I've actually written it down. Besides obviously having it in the Bible, I've written it down just so I can have ready access to it. And look, my daughter has, she drew the hearts on there and then colored them as well. And it's so cute. So cute. So I wanted to read First Kings chapter 2, verses 2. And I wrote King David to me, right? It's like everything that has been spoken in the Bible, that were spoken in the Bible for the children of Israel. Today, you and I are spiritual Israel. Everything that was spoken applies to us. So as King David was talking to his son, this young, innocent, youthful, in a sense, ignorant ruler, before Solomon ascended the throne or before he died. So let's go to 1 Kings 2. I'm actually there. 1 Kings 2 verses 2. And it says, no, actually, let's start 1 Kings 1. 1 Kings 2 verses 1. It says, now the days of David drew nigh that he shall die. And he charged Solomon his son, saying, the verses 2, I go the way of all the earth. Here's where the kicker got it. Here's where it got me. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man. And this is what Sister White, the little quote, this quote was just in the Ministry of Healing, pages 174. This little quote was right under this verses 2. And it says, this is so amazing. The last words of David to Solomon, then a young man and soon to receive the crown of Israel, were be strong and show thyself a man. And this is what she says, the spirit of inspiration is telling me and you. She says, to every child of humanity, the candidate for an immortal crown are these words of inspiration spoken. Be strong and show thyself a man. Now, instead of a man, I put man, but I put woman there also, because in this sense, it applies to me and I'm a woman. So I put be strong and show thyself a woman. If you pause the video and you look at the writing that I just showed you, you can see I wrote woman in there also. Okay? And then she says, the self-indulgent must be led to see and feel the great moral renovation is, okay, let me start over. She says, the self-indulgent must be led to see and feel that great moral renovation is necessary if they will be men. God calls upon them to arouse and in the strength of Christ win back the God-given manhood that has been sacrificed through sinful indulgence. And in my case, this morning in my prayer, I was pleading and pleading for forgiveness of sin, for having indulged so much and haven't allowed the enemy, because can you imagine, it's now that by God's grace, and even he had to hit me over the head with a brick in order for me to come back to doing this ministry that I'm doing with you, right? It took God almost this time in my life, this season in my life, to get my attention, to bring me back after being out there back and forth, hot and cold, lukewarm, I mean, you should, if I were to show you my Facebook page, you will be amazed. You will be amazed. And I've left the pictures that are on there as a testament and as a testimony to what, when God gets hold of you and grabs you by the collar, what he does for you, right? And so here she's saying that the enemy has robbed me and you so much. He's robbed so much from us. He's robbed me specifically. I'm not sick, but I feel in my body that I'm not well. That if I don't make a 180 or 360, as it were, that I'm heading towards either stroke, right? Or a heart attack, or high blood pressure, or diabetes, or hypertension. And so God, this is the moment where all that the enemy of mankind has robbed from me, by God's grace, this is the way that I'm taking it back. Because whether it's 30 days or 60 days of just purely infusing the body with the nutrients that it has been deficient of for years, the minerals, the nutrients, the enzymes that the body has craved and needed for years and years and years of your life or my life, that it needs. It's finally when let me see, I wanted to show you. So this morning I got my juice ready, right? So this is a mason jar, obviously, and it's a 62. Let me see. Fini, why are you in my video? Hello. It's a 62. Pardon me. She just woke up and she wants to be in my video. So this is a 34 ounce mason jar. And when I finally finished, I got two and a half jars, right? So this is it right here. And then this one I wanted to show you. So this one, it's a 64 ounce mason jar. And there's a video that I'm going to, show it again towards the end. But this is a 64 one. So I did say half a gallon of the juice. This, you can do half a gallon if you want, but it's recommended to do a full gallon just in case you feel any kind of hunger pains. And when I finished and I thought the juice was going to be all so, full of the taste or even a smell of cilantro and the parsley and whatnot. But when I tasted it, it felt so pleasant. It felt so pleasant. Are you all right, Fini? Yeah. Good. So I wanted to just, if you wanted to do 1 week, you can. If you wanted to do 3 days, you can. If you wanted to do 30 days, you can. 60 days, you most certainly can. It is between you and God. And also, if you want us to keep accountability, we can. But I wanted to give the recipe real quick before this video gets any longer than it needs to. So the recipe that I juiced today, this morning, is one. Now, this recipe only will give you about 34 and a half of the mason jars. So I got 34 and maybe, no, not a half. 34 ounces and maybe a quarter of another mason jar bottle. Okay, maybe a quarter. That's what I got for the recipe that I'm giving you. If you want to get the full gallon, then you have to obviously juice more. Just multiply it times 3. Maybe multiply it times 3 or maybe 4 to get the full maybe gallon of the juice. So the recipe, once again, is to get this 1 mason jar and a quarter. This is almost half. This is almost half of the mason jar. But to get one full mason jar plus a quarter mason jar is the recipe that I'm giving you. Now, if you want more of it, obviously to get to the full gallon, as I said, then it needs to be maybe 2 or 3 recipes instead of the one that I'm saying. So no, leave it. Go sit down. Let me finish. So what you will need is one bunch of cilantro. Now, if you can get organic, it'd be the best, because especially for the cilantro and the parsley. So it's cilantro, one bunch of cilantro, one bunch of parsley, right? I'm taking my time and just enunciating. So one bunch cilantro, one bunch parsley, a small thing like that, small thing of ginger, maybe a thumb. Let's say a thumb, just the size of your thumb of ginger, and then the size of your thumb of turmeric, the fresh turmeric. You can't use powder. I wish you could, but you can't. Fini? No. You can get some. That's fine. Maybe a thumb of a thumb of turmeric, the fresh one. A thumb of ginger, the fresh one as well, right? If you can get all of it organic, that is preferable. But if you can't, where you're living or where you're at, if you can't get organic, then of course, you have to make do with what you get. So let's start with the recipe again. One bunch of cilantro. No. Please take it over there. No. One bunch of cilantro. Excuse me for my kids at home today. They didn't go to school. And of course, they're trying to get in the video as much as they can. Anyway. So let me start the recipe again because it's important. Sorry for the disturbance. One bunch of cilantro. One bunch of parsley. A thumb of ginger. A thumb of turmeric. One lemon or lime. Cucumber, right? And then one bunch, just one whole bunch, not just one stick, one whole bunch of celery. And that's it. So let's go over the recipe again. So it's a bunch of cilantro, one bunch, because when you buy in a store, they've got it in bunches. Or if you go to the store and it's not in a bunch, just get, a handful, right? A handful. So one bunch of celery, excuse me. One bunch of cilantro, one bunch of parsley, a thumb of turmeric, a thumb of ginger, one cucumber, one lime or lemon, and then one bunch of celery. Not one stick, one whole bunch, because when you buy it, it comes with a bunch, right, of the celery. And so this is what you can juice. The juicer that I have, it's the Nama J2, and I think I did a small video that I'm going to link to this one or add it to this one before I upload it. The Nama J2 juicer, it's supposed to be one of the best on the market, is what I use. It's very expensive. It's quite expensive. I had to scrape and deprive myself in a sense to buy that. But it's necessary. So I pray that you find an actual juicer that will help you, that is not going to heat. A juicer, not a blender, but a juicer that is going to masticate, as I said earlier, and chew the food and then help you out. And so if you want to come on this journey with me, I'm grateful for that. God will richly bless you. And this is to your health. And while you're fasting, because this is a fast, we can just read our scriptures and pray. We know what to do. And so I wanted to just come and say, if you want to join me even for a day, right? Even for a day, that's good. For 1 week, that's good. For 30 days, that's good. 3 weeks, somebody said 3 weeks, that's great. Come on board. And let's do this. It's not going to be easy, as I said. Really, you have to come to a point where I heard someone say that, you've been down so long that the only way you can go is up, right? Just being beat down so long in your body and wanting to do something about your body and your walk with the Lord for so long that the only way you can go is up. And if we mean to go up, God will help us to go up. And so wherever you are, I pray that God helps you and I to be faithful and stay true to this process. And brothers and sisters, wherever you are, be blessed. And this is to your health. God bless. So I just did a juicing this morning. I started this morning because this morning is a special day. Today is really, in the biblical terms, today is the Day of Atonement. So today's juicing that I did, so this bottle right here, this mason jar, is a 32-ounce jar. And this one is a 64-ounce jar. That's like almost half a gallon, right? That's almost half a gallon. So if you want to just do two 64-ounce jars and try that, that's good. I did only two. Well, I did only half a jar. So I got two mason jars. I've drank some of it, and there's just a little almost half of it left in there. But anyway, so yeah, if you wanted to do the full half a jar and just put that in the fridge and drink it, or two mason jars, or two two half a gallon jars of mason jars, you can do that. Or just make sure that you don't put it in plastic. I just put it because you don't want the plastics leaching into the juice, right? So let me just make sure I'm clear, because okay, so this jar right here, as you can see, it is half a gallon. So if you get two of those huge mason jars, you should be set, right? And then you have the 32-ounce. So this is a 32-ounce one. If you want to use at least 4 or 6 of that, you could do that, right? Or just 2 of the 64-ounce, which is this one right here, of the mason jars. Okay, so for me, I think I'm gonna try only two 34-ounce jars and see what happens for today. But this is the juicer that I use. It is a Nama, the J2 Nama J2 juicer. Of course, I'm not being sponsored or anything by them, but unfortunately, that is the best on the market. That is the best juicer you can have now. I'm not saying go buy this juicer. I'm just saying that this is what I used, and I'm very, very grateful for that. Daniel, wait, let me finish. I'm very, very grateful for that. So find a juicer, any juicer that will masticate and kind of like cold press your juice for you and not heat it up to destroy, all that nutrients and in the juice. Now, coming back to the juicer, it's not cheap. This cost me with taxes and all that almost $600, right? Almost $600. So it's not cheap. All right. So this is what I did this morning. Today is a day that, by God's grace, hopefully, praying to God to strengthen all of us for us to go the distance that we need to go to do what He wants to do for us. And so I wanted to just show you, as far as my juicing and what I did. Be blessed.